What is up, y'all brothers? Welcome back to another Bucket Card Gaming banger. It is April. It is time to be grateful, guys. The Warriors just sent the NBA a warning. Yesterday, we beat the Memphis Grizzlies, secured the 5th seed. I mean, the Grizzlies and Timberwolves still have a good chance of getting it. They're only 1 game behind. But, bro, we got the 5th seed now, which is incredible. Lakers up next on Thursday, I believe. I'm not sure. But you already know we win in the chip. We're going to see what this warning is. I'm pretty sure the warning is Curry dropping a 52 bomb against the Grizzlies. But we'll see what he talks about in this video. I'm not sure what he's going to talk about in this video. But let's check it out.
Verse 6th in the Western Conference. Those were the stakes entering the game for the Golden State Warriors and 5th in the Western Conference versus 6th in the Western Conference. Those were the stakes entering the game for the Golden State Warriors and Memphis Grizzlies, with the Grizzlies holding a record of 44-31 and the Warriors a record of 43-31. And with both the Wolves and Clippers right in the mix to knock either of these teams down to the play-in, this game was the most important of the season for both teams.
Yes, sir.
Enter Stephen Curry.
Curry doing everything tonight. Beautiful steal. Wanted that three in transition. Step back and got it. Okay. He's got 11 made threes. Looking for a Steph relocate. Corner three. Got it.
When there is a game that needs to be won, when your season is on the line in the regular season or in the playoffs, how many players in NBA history would you rather have on your side than Stephen Curry? The greatest shooter ever, the greatest point guard ever, and a guy who can simply do things that we have never seen and will never see again. And all of that.
I'm not going to lie. These past few days with Curry's pelvic contusion, it had me worried. I thought Curry was going to be washed. Or not even washed. I thought he was going to play worse because of his pelvic injury. I thought he might even be sidelined for the rest of the season. But, bro, 52 points yesterday. Stephen Curry, you're beautiful.
That was on full display in this game against Memphis. I mean, look at him casually pulling up from 30 feet with Ja Morant right in his face. But how about a shot like this, where Jimmy drives into the paint, he kicks it to Dre, who was wide open, but instead of settling for the three, he gives the handoff to Steph, and look at that shot difficulty. No time to set his feet, and a 7-foot DPOY in his face, and he drains the three. We will always talk about the pull-up threes and the insane distance at which Steph has been able to shoot his entire career, but shots like this, these are the kind of shots that Steph has mastered that we have never seen at this rate, and it's just unfair that he can do all of this in addition to being one of the greatest ball handlers of all time, and a guy capable of scoring inside the arc as well. And he did absolutely everything in this must-win game against Memphis, leading the Dubs to a victory with a stat line of 52, 10, and 8. Oh.
Bro, why is it always the games that Curry goes off like this is that I miss, bro? I miss it, bro. I literally watch every other Warrior game, but the ones where Curry drops like 50 plus points, I miss, bro. I also missed the one against the Orlando Magic a few months ago, I believe. Very sad. Very sad. I was busy swimming.
Did I mention he had 5 steals as well and led the entire game in plus minus? Yeah. He also did that, and not only was he causing trouble on defense, but those steals were turning into easy offense for the Warriors in transition, like on this play where Pippen Jr. gets stuck in the paint. Steph kicks him off, and then with Gee running the floor, he finds him for the easy bucket. Or here where Ja gets crowded by the Warriors defense. Steph is there to pick it off, and with the Grizzlies preparing to load up on Steph, he passes it to Moody, who just barrels into 80 for the finish. And then of course, because he's Steph Curry, he can turn a steal on one end into a three-pointer on the other end in a matter of seconds.
Pulls up.
This man is 36 years old. This was supposed to be one of the teams who were going to overtake Steph and the Warriors. It was supposed to be an end of an era in Golden State. But all of a sudden, after he actually got a star to help support him, you have seen both the Warriors and Steph with a different level of rejuvenation. And the number...
Bro, as I said before in a previous video, bro, if we didn't get Jimmy Butler and we got KD instead, would we still be seeing the same amount of success we're seeing right now? I don't know. Because, like, Jimmy literally makes a difference. He's, like, a leader in the, has an Andre Iguodala type role. He's a leader in the locker room, leader on the court, even though his stats don't, show it. But from what I've heard in secondhand accounts, like, KD is a beautiful scorer. He's a beautiful, handler. He's a beautiful, like, basketball player. But, like, he's not really, like, a big presence in the locker room like Andre Iguodala or Jimmy Buckets. Because, like, as you see, ever since Jimmy Buckets joined the team, Luis Santos started standing up, or was it Quinton Post? I don't know, either one. Quinton Post started going up in efficiency. Brandon Podziemski, he's making the players around them better.
Numbers back it up, because since the Jimmy Butler trade, not only are the Dubs 19-4, but Steph Curry is averaging just under 28 points, nearly 6 assists and 4 boards a game, which is back to that all-NBA first-team level from Steph that we have seen for over a decade. And just speaking on the numbers, look at the number of 50-point games Steph has had since turning 30 years old in comparison to the other greatest players in NBA history. If you want to talk about longevity, you have to talk about Steph Curry, and he doesn't seem like slowing down anytime soon. But just talking about this performance from him for a second, it was special. It was a performance that only Steph Curry could have. Yeah, Klay Thompson has had some incredible games, and so has Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, all of these guys. But it's not just the shooting, it's the defensive pressure he faces every single possession. It's the playmaking, it's the move.
You know what's weird? After this game, I had a dream that Curry beat Thompson's record, bro. I had a dream Curry hit 15 threes in the game. I don't know why. I love Curry so much, I even started dreaming about Curry, man.
Movement, it is everything. I mean, watch him here. As you see, Edey is over here doubling Steph and leaving Dre wide open at the top of the key. Steph gives it to Dre and does a disappearing trick on Aldama, who completely loses him, with Steph relocating to the wing to knock down the three. Or how about here, where it's Jimmy setting the screen for Steph this time, and with both defenders going to Steph, it gives Jimmy a full head of steam going downhill, and that's always going to be a good result for the Warriors. And it's this reason why Jimmy Butler said he's never played with anyone like Steph Curry, because I promise you, he hasn't had a player who would draw that much attention away from him since he was a rookie. And if he's doing that with Jimmy Butler, well, you can imagine.
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you to earn digital.
He's drawing that same kind of attention when Dre goes to set the screen, like on this play where Edey has to come all the way out and it's just an open runway for Dre to go downhill and get to the rim. And this was the
future defensive player of the year. Also, why am I like 280p, bro? It's fine.
Grizzlies game plan
Dre is low-key the future DOPY.
All game long. Leave
DPOY. Why I say DOPY? No.
Leaving Draymond Green wide open to take as many threes as he could make, and it has worked for the Warriors a lot of the times this season, with Draymond having a great shooting season. This was not one of those games, but despite that, with the combination of Draymond's passing, his screening, his intelligence, and Steph Curry just being an alien, the Warriors were able to overcome that, in addition to some help from Quinton Post, who has turned into the absolute steal of the draft. But just getting back to Steph Curry, there is a reason he has been so much better since the Warriors traded for Jimmy Butler. There is a reason his two best games of the season have come in the last 20 games with Jimmy in the lineup. It's because he finally has some room to breathe. I know I just said that the Grizzlies were pretty much putting pressure on him every single game. That was not the best example of that. But what I mean is, he doesn't have to do this every single game. He knew this was a huge performance, and we all knew he was going to deliver, but just look at a handful of his most recent games. He took 9 shots versus the Kings, 10 shots versus the Spurs, 8 shots versus the Raptors. These are all games the Warriors won. These are all games in which Steph didn't need to put up a Herculean effort for them to win. He was even able to rest a couple of games in between all of that and be rejuvenated for games like this, for games like the Lakers, and that is the benefit of having Jimmy Butler, because no longer does Steph
We better beat the Lakers, bro.
need to do this every single night, because
Like, while Curry hitting 52 and winning the game is actually insane, we already know Curry's amazing at basketball. We don't need him to prove himself anymore. Like, it would be better if, like, maybe Clinton Post had, like, maybe a few more points. Podziemski had a few more points. Even Draymond and Jimmy had a few more points. And just, like, keep Curry in that 20 to 30 range. We don't need him. I mean, of course, if the situation calls for it, like yesterday, where we need Curry's, like, heroics to beat the Grizzlies, of course, Curry should go like 52 points mode. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'd rather have everybody in the team playing a role rather than Curry exhausting himself by doing this.
you have someone who can give you 25 points on any given night, who can give you triple doubles, playmaking, defense, clutch time, scoring. Steph Curry is 36 years old. His best is still as good as anyone, but he's also 36 and can't do this every single night. But having these two take turns is the reason the Dubs are now 18-2 when they both play. Did you hear me just say that? They have 18 wins and 2 losses with Jimmy and Steph in the lineup. And this was just another example of what these guys
That's like the 2020
playoff setting. Draymond Green.
That's crazy. 18-2. That's the exact record we had, I believe, in the start of 2022 season.
With a triple-double whilst being the best defender on the court, out-dueling a guy in the mix for DPOY in Jaren Jackson Jr. Jimmy Butler casually finishing with 26, 6, 4, and 3 on 11 shots, and then, well, what Steph did. But to have those 3 guys who can lock in like that, there's just not a team on earth that wants to see them in the playoffs. And it's not just about their reputations or careers. This team is 18-2 with Jimmy and Steph in the lineup. Need I say any more? If that doesn't tell you they're a championship level team, nothing will. Now, if you made it all the way to the end of the video and want to see more content.
So anyways, guys, beautiful video by 7man. We are winning the championship. Best believe it. Sorry if I copied Flight Reaction that intro a little bit, but who cares? See y'all boys in the next one.